So yeah, does anybody have any questions or nice comments or anything? Oh, Whiplash. I don't know. We have indeed talked about a sequel, but since this one was done for little to nothing, mostly nothing, the cast got paid in pretty much nothing but hot and ready pizzas and occasionally Qdoba. So if we did do a sequel, if the stars align, we would we'll probably do some sort of funding campaign for it instead of doing it out of our own pocket. Yes, exactly, Kickstarter. So to answer your question, we are definitely thinking about it, but as of right now, we just finally got all the DVDs printed, and we're like, whew, because we all have full-time jobs outside of this. So.
Yeah. Also, like the ideas we have for the sequel is a lot bigger than this. It would actually be more of a feature film, considering the stuff we're talking about doing. So we definitely want to make sure we do it right, like make sure we have the budget and the time and all the resources we need if we did a sequel.
Yep.
In the interim, we have other projects we're working on. We're focusing on shorts, like 5 to 10 minutes instead of 1 hour features. So yeah, find our YouTube channel. We'll have more.
Cowardly Dog, sure. Courage the Cowardly Dog.
What are your guys' favorite videos?
Ooh, this is a great question. You want to answer that, Mike, Zach? You can go first.
Ratchet and Clank would be mine, because I'm not a video game guy at all. So a lot of the references I didn't even get. And this is a question I always get, so I had to come up with something. That's the only game I've ever beaten.
It's a good game.
It's a good answer, right?
I'm gonna have to say one of my favorite games is Metal Gear Solid. That was something I kept pushing in the movie. I was like, we gotta get a Metal Gear reference. We gotta get a Metal Gear reference in here. So I gotta say that's one of my favorite games, for sure.
We probably have two. One of mine is the NES cult classic Crystalis. It was one that I played as a kid, and before the internet, I only found a few other people who had played it, but it's basically like Zelda times a million. You take Zelda and make it much, much better, and it's awesome, and too bad they never did any sequels or anything. Other than that, Metroid Prime. The Metroid Prime games on the GameCube. Super Metroid is pretty awesome as well. Metroid Prime kind of translated it perfectly into 3D.
I'm going to let you answer too, Kid, so don't feel left out. I guess mine's kind of a tie. Occasionally could be considered a three-way tie, but Sonic 3 and Knuckles. It's one game, come on, but you got to lock them on together. And then, of course, Ocarina of Time. Very good. Caleb, your turn.
I probably put about maybe 1,000 hours into Skyrim, so I probably have to say that. I'm also a huge fan of the Halo series. I read all the books and all that stuff, so that's my interest.
Awesome. Anybody else? Yes, you in the front row.
What's the hardest thing you've ever played?
Hardest thing.
Dragon Warrior 2. I'm a completionist and I beat every game I play, or at least I try, and that one I gave up on. I did well all the way till the end, but this was back in the day of JRPGs on the NES where it was a grind-a-thon, and I got to the very last dungeon, and I had grinded for levels quite a bit, but it was still impossible. And it was one of those with no save points, and you have to play the dungeon for 3 hours straight to get all the way through, and then you get 2.5 hours and you die, and you throw the controller and you burn down your house.
I don't really know off the top of my head. I've got to say I was a big Dick Tracy fan, and I tried to deal with the Dick Tracy game and for the regular Nintendo, and just, it was really frustrating.
Ratchet and Clank.
There's been a lot of hard games that I've played, but the thing that comes to mind immediately in terms of being a completionist, the most difficult time I ever had, and most committed I've ever been, was Grand Theft Auto Vice City. I stayed up for hours trying to finish the ambulance missions in that game, and it drove me insane. It was pretty tough. So that would be my answer.
I don't remember the name of it, but I think it was for Super Nintendo, and you play some night guy in a cemetery, and I couldn't even get past the first level. Yeah, that's like Super Ghosts and Ghosts.
Yeah.
That's hard.
I can live on
Just a follow-up question. You go first.
What part of the movie did you think the audience would like the best, and were you right?
Good question.
That's a good question. Anybody want to tackle that one first?
Considering I watched it quite a bit, and because of the visual effects, there were a few. One, the final battle, when he finally kills Chet and he disintegrates into Mega Man particles. Just kind of that whole speech and just him kind of finally standing up for himself and using the Pikachu to kill him. It just had so much going on right there of him standing up for himself, Pikachu as a character kind of working together, Pikachu's death, and then just all the video game references around that time. And I was hoping that a lot of people would like that because it's built up to that point and so much stuff happens. It's not filled with jokes, but it's kind of serious and it's got a lot of references in it. And I think a lot of people do like that, but I think the jokes kind of stand out when you're watching it in a crowd that get a lot of laughs. The other thing was the intro. I did all the motion graphics and the entire intro. That was a last-minute add-on. We originally started the movie just in the basement, and we realized, like, this is just not, like, catching our attention right away. So we wrote this script for this intro, had one of our friends do, like, a serious Agent Smith kind of narration to it, and then I animated the whole thing. And I felt like it did a much better job grabbing people's attention than the original beginning, and so I was hoping that that would kind of be a great catch your attention piece, and I think a lot of people enjoyed it.
I guess one that seems to have really paid off is the little girl getting blown up by the... There was actually some debate on leaving it in or leaving it out, just because we're like, she does kind of, he shoots at her or whatever, but then we're like, it's all in good fun, it's comical, and Zoe, who played the little girl, would be very upset if she got cut out. So every time we've shown it, everybody has an open mind, and they really, they've laughed bigger and bigger each time. You guys enjoyed it too, so.
Well, the first time we had the debate was we were doing a sneak peek at MagFest, and that was in the winter, and most of that scene was involved in a sneak peek, and that was right after Sandy Hook. And we realized, oh man, this used to be just fun, but now we were worried, like, this is a serious matter. But we reached out to like the festival coordinators and asked them, what do you think? We planned this a long time ago. Now we're worried, we think we might want to take it out. And they were like, leave it in, like, people understand. And it's gotten like the best laughs out of everything, so, I guess we shouldn't have to worry after all.
There was no debate for me. I fought for it to stay in the entire time. I was like, no, leave it in. This is great. My favorite scene by far is the Paperboy scene. When we first saw that, we had watched the movie several times. By that point, we were used to a lot of the jokes already. So the first time that got put in and it was done, we got so excited, like we were cheering, because it was just so exciting to see this like thing that we were talking about doing, and it was done, and it was up there, and then the dog, running into the car and blowing up. That was a nice surprise. We didn't write that part into that. That was something that our animator just added in for fun, and we were just like, that was great. We're leaving that in. That and the girl blowing up.
And that was the other thing that was very funny that you mentioned it, is the fact that we had several different cuts of it that we could watch, but for something like that wasn't in there yet. Like it would just be a blank screen of like insert animation here. So of course everyone's kind of expecting, I guess we're just going to see a blank screen, and I don't know when we're just going to see this. And then I didn't let them know that it had been snuck in there for this particular one, and they lost it. So it was very funny. But I guess that answers the questions.
Who doesn't like a peck dance?
Did you have a follow-up question? Was that the follow-up question?
It was for you.
Right.
You played GTA 4 and done the swing set thing.
Oh my god, no, I haven't done that.
You back up slowly to the swing set in GTA 4. You stay there for a while and it launches your car across the map.
Physics, gotta love them.
I've seen it before, and it's just blew my mind. It's like, you're just like, well, what could this do? All the way across the map.
I've not played GTA 4 yet because I know if I will want to finish the whole thing. And I don't want to get caught up in something like that, so I've been putting it off, but I'm going to play it eventually.
You don't want to spend 3 hours finding all 200 pigeons?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, what do you do in your free time other than that?
Other than that, I work in video at Kroger headquarters. We do a lot of in-house sales shows and training videos. Nothing quite as weird and off the wall as this.
My full-time job, I work as a merchandising account manager for TV networks and movie studios, so Warner Brothers and ABC and stuff. And it's like a 40-hour week job. But in my free time, I went to art school, so I do a lot of video stuff and motion graphics and design on my own. I like to play poker. I was just in Vegas last week. And broke even, so I count that as a success. Won like $500 and lost $500. I like to go camping, just outdoor stuff, music and movies. And I have over 1,000 video games, so buying video games.
I think she meant jobs.
Oh, she said free time.
No, she said free time.
Free time.
Oh.
I edit videos with my Sony Vegas. You're not doing that.
Sony Vegas is good. Like, I've always used Final Cut. Premiere is good. Sony Vegas is good. When I was in art school, a lot of people used Sony Vegas, but they all had Macs in the lab, so we always used Final Cut. Did you want to say what you did in your free time since you misunderstood the question?
In my free time, I work on this movie.
Exactly. For the last 6 months, all his free time was just this.
Occasionally, I play video games, but it's mainly for research for this movie.
Well, we're going to talk about jobs first. I work in retail, and I'm a server at TGI Fridays on 4th Street. Come see me. And I also go to /JCTC/U of L. So I don't have a lot of free time, but I have 2 dogs I spend a lot of time with. I'm a big movie buff. I have over 1,000 movies on Blu-ray, since we're talking about our collections. And I love going to flea markets and finding weird, odd stuff. And I'm obsessed with Superman and Doctor Who.
See, I work in retail also. I also do stand-up comedy, and I'm not going to do a joke right now.
Tell a joke.
No. I do stand-up comedy. I do all sorts. I like to do all sorts of different types of projects, though. That's why this interested me. Is I'd always wanted to do a movie, and just work on a movie, and I do a lot of writing. I paint. I draw. Play video games, obviously. I like to watch movies. I'm a Doctor Who fan as well, but I'm a Batman fan more than Superman. All the good stuff, any nerdy stuff that you can imagine, I do pretty much. So that's what I do in my free time.
That goes for the whole panel.
I'm also single, if you didn't already figure that
Let's see, I work full-time at a recording studio on 4th Street, downtown recording, just down the street from here. And so I do a lot of audio for TV, radio, video, and stuff like that. And in my free time, I mostly just play video games, I guess. That's it.
Is there a real-life inspiration for this movie?
It's funny you bring that up. I don't believe I've told anyone the story yet, but I'll try to keep it as brief as possible. But the bottom line is, towards the end of high school, I rediscovered the original NES. My sister brought it up out of the basement, was playing it, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is great, this is so funny, so great. And then at that point, I had a Dreamcast and an Xbox, and going back to that for the first time when you were like a little kid just brought back all these feelings. And then we had a garage sale, and my sister sold it in the garage sale, which she actually. My parents are here, so they haven't heard this story before. It has a good ending. So she sold it to a family friend and all of my old games for about $20. And I was a little upset about that. And years later, when my wife was actually house sitting for them, she was my girlfriend at the time. She was house sitting for them and basically was over there killing time with her, and then was like, I wonder if they still have my Nintendo here. So I'm going through all their stuff, I'm in the boxes, I am digging through, they have a really messy basement, and so that just kind of reminds me of that. And then, I did find it, and I'm not ashamed to say I took it. Which, now see, this is, I did maybe cause a little felony there, but then I, talked to her later, and I was like, so you guys, play that Nintendo anymore? And she's like, oh, we could never get it to work. If you find it, you can have it. If you're over sometime, you can have it. And it's like, okay, sure. Of course, I already did get it, but now I was like, okay, so now the hunt continues where I find the rest of my games, which I didn't, but, I found at least 18 out of the 20, so. Yes, back there.
Were you able to make the movie with all the equipment you had, or did you find yourself end up investing more and more and more as the movie expanded?
Well, believe it or not, I think the only thing we got for this movie was, I take that back, I believe there was the little camera caddy that I had that I used to film with, but that was only like $20 or so. But the only, I think, prop-related thing we had to get, everybody else was good with the, we didn't have to buy a gun blade, we didn't have to do the zappers. We tried to keep this as cost-effective as possible, or, not pricey at all. But I think the only thing we spent money on was, other than food, was a corgi puppet that attacked our character, Travis, out on the deck, which you saw how top-notch that was. So that should give you an idea of the price that it was. But mainly most of the budget, I wanted to create a short film before this. A lot of it was kind of left over from that, and I got the camera that we shot on for Christmas earlier that year, so it was kind of the first time using that. And did you? Well, of course, all the stuff that we've done for conventions, I think that's where most of the money has gone.
We had all the cameras and computers and software before this, but we both have kind of older Macs, because we started video back in 2004, 2005, and we have the Power Mac G5s from 2005-ish, which were PowerPC processors, and about 2006, Apple switched over to Intel, and no one supports PowerPC anymore at all. Web browsers are I'm on Firefox 3, and the rest of the world is on Firefox 12. Flash doesn't work anymore. Well, anyway, HD is a little tough on my machine, and I had to render 1080p, explosions and visual effects and stuff, and it was slow going. The worst part was the intro, the outer space, the millions and billions of stars, and all the glowing pixels and Tetris pieces. All the glow effects were stacked and stacked on top of each other, and it was going to take about 13 hours to render that 20-second, just outer space scene. And I had to borrow some RAM from Caleb, because they had an old PowerPC Mac that they had at their work that they weren't using anymore because they were smart and they upgraded to something better. But they had RAM from that. I was like, hey, do you have any extra RAM? We need to get this done in a day, and it's taken me 2 days and keeps failing. And so I borrowed RAM from him and just had many sleepless nights just rendering and making sure it didn't fail. So we didn't really upgrade the equipment. I just borrowed one extra gig of RAM to keep it from 13 hours down to 9 hours of rendering time.
I just want to know, how long it took you guys to shoot the whole film?
Principal photography was started September 2011, and then we wrapped it up right around probably the early November. And if you can, if you pay attention, leaves change occasionally throughout the course of it, but you didn't pay attention to that, did you? No. But a lot of times, Brian, who played Travis, and then she played Chi. They were wearing clothes that, Zach was smart. He was like, my character's going to layer up. I mean, it probably wasn't too smart when we were in the summer, when it was really hot, but then we had to reshoot or just do some pickup shots down by the creek or something where it's a lot cooler. Chi's out there in short shorts, and Travis has holes in his shirt and a t-shirt. So So we did that, and then it seemed like after that, we still sprinkled in a few just pickup shots every now and then, like a few of the cutaway gags with Craig in a runaway wheelchair and him in the morgue and all that different stuff. So I'd say, I can't really.
February,
All the pickup shots were done by February.
Fun fact about that morgue scene, by the way. That was shot at his work at Kroger headquarters in their kitchen. So
yes, Craig was shirtless in that scene. So if anyone walked in at that point to see this shirtless man stuffed inside an express bag, a dress bag.
Yeah, the garment or the body bag was just like a suit garment bag. So we're like, well, we don't have a body bag. And I was like, well, I got these bags I hang my suits in. They're just black and they can zip up. And we just cut a hole in it and Craig, come here, take your shirt off and just lay on the table. And if somebody walked in at that moment, they'd be like, Matt, what are you
filming
doing? Come on here. But yeah, we ended late November, and some of the running scenes, like the quick time events where he's running, jumping over people and stuff, we had to really angle it just right because that was Red Run Halloween, and there were Halloween decorations in everybody's yards. And so we would have to find like the 3 yards in a row that had no Halloween decorations and point the camera that way, because if you point it a little bit to the left, you see spider webs and pumpkins everywhere. And of course, it's supposed to be summer, so that wouldn't work.
They could just have really bad, like, old, unkempt yard.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yes.
Describe the movie in one word.
Epic.
Retro.
I was gonna say epic too, so.
Oh. Come up with a new one. The original.
Speedrun.
Yeah.
Pecs.
Pikachu.
There you go. Yes, my mother.
What was the hardest scene to film?
Hardest scene. Well, it's kind of I'd say probably everything down by the creek for the most part. Usually in these productions, you're able to shut down streets, tell neighbors to leave and do something else. And occasionally we did have to.
Parents to leave.
Yeah, well, we could tell you guys to leave the house. But like, if somebody started up a lawnmower, I mean, it's really awkward when you go up to this person who's like shirtless and taking time out of their day after the long week. We film most of this on weekends. And they finally get a chance to tend to their yard, and you come up to them and it's like, see my friend with the zappers and the sword over there? We kind of are in the process of filming a movie, and we really appreciate it if you didn't do that right now. It's really awkward. But down by the creek, we had somebody that wasn't too pleased with us with a boom pole down there. I guess they thought we were selling drugs with a boom pole. They thought we looked really shady, but we explained it was a student film, etc. So there were just lots of distractions down there that kind of got in our way.
And sitting next to a road.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I was going to say. Right there by the creek and out in front of the house, it's like the main road in the neighborhood. So we couldn't go like 15 seconds without a car going by. And Caleb's sitting there recording the audio, and I'm sure he was just wanting to shoot himself in the head over and over again. Just like, we'd get a perfect take, but people honking, what's going on down there?
And then the scene where I got hit by the bicycle and I'm laying under it, like people kept stopping to ask if I was
Is he okay? Is he dead? Do I need to call somebody?
And they're filming me with a boom mic. Like it couldn't be more obvious that it's fine, but.
Yeah, I'd say anything by that road was killing us. Down by the creek, the last scene where he's doing, Chet's doing his little speech of, you guys are gonna be dead and all this stuff. We found out, the sun's going down, we're doing some takes, and we find out, Chet tells us about like 15 minutes before the sun's about to go down and it's gonna get dark. Oh, by the way, I'm shaving my head tomorrow, because I have an audition where I need to have a shaved head. And we're like, why didn't you just tell us now?
The script never called for a Chet with a shaved head.
So we realized we had 15 minutes to film all of the last bit of scenes we needed with him. So I told Caleb, I was like, all right, don't worry about the audio anymore. We just have to film it, and he's going to have to record it later. So all of that speech and stuff was recorded in studio later and overdubbed. And he did a great job with that because we were panicking on the last minute because we were like, well, okay, no audio, we just have to film it because if we wait for cars to not come by, it's going to take us another 3 hours to get a take of this. So that kind of made us panic and freak out at the end there.
Yes, Whiplash.
Are you guys excited about any of the new consoles? And if so,
I'm not excited about the Xbox One. I accidentally, Matt had posted on our Zach Cooper Facebook page, like before E3 or any of the news was out, really. It was like, oh, who's excited for the new consoles? Tell us what your favorite one is. Well, I'm on my phone, it's like 11 o'clock and I'm in bed and I'm like, oh yeah, let me comment on this. Problem is when I'm on my phone, it makes me comment as the Zach Cooper Facebook page instead of myself.
Me too.
So I start bad-mouthing the Xbox One and stuff, and then I'm like, oh shoot, the next morning I wake up and I realize I have like officially bad-mouthed Xbox One as the Zach Cooper's page, and he's like, oh, ignore that, I don't know who's speaking officially for us, and I had to come back and be like, sorry, that was me. But yeah, I know they're kind of backtracking right now, but I'm shooting for PS4, plus it's cheaper, so even if Xbox does backtrack, I'm still gonna go to PS4.
What's interesting enough is in Zach's basement room, which is actually mine, there's not a single Sony console in that room. There's different reasons, and if you want that to be your next question, I can answer it. But once the original news of the Xbox One kind of came out, I was like, well, I mean, seems kind of a no-brainer. I mean, it's a PS4. Of course, I also now currently have a Wii U, which, I'll be honest, a lot of the older retro games that I like to play that have that nostalgia pop is already on there. Smash Brothers is coming back out, and Mega Man is on there, and I was more excited over that than anything at E3, to be honest. And I know it's probably going to be the exact same game, but if anyone was playing Smash Brothers at our table today, you know how fun that game is, and you don't have to, get headshots or kill people or curse at each other online. And so, I don't know, it's just a lot more stress-free. So maybe I'm with the Wii U. I think I'm on the Wii U side of things.
I'm on definitely PS4. I've always liked Sony. I was talking to someone the other day about how the difference between Sony and Microsoft, when it really comes down to it, is Sony has a lot more exclusive games. And the reason being is because A, they have a lot of Japanese developers because it's a Japanese company, and then B, they're a lot more friendly towards new concepts and new ideas. Microsoft is more about, obviously, as you found out in E3, they're more about making the money, and so they're more focused on, let's get another Call of Duty in here, and not so much on whatever weird idea this company has.
You don't think Kinect is a weird idea? It's pretty weird.
It's weird, but not fun.
I think they should be using it eventually just for maybe you play the Call of Duty on it, I don't know, use your hand. Fire!
Oculus Rift and
Oculus Rift.
that's gonna be pretty cool.
Until it looks, because when I first heard about it, I was like, oh wow, this is gonna look like whatever operating system Tony Stark was using in the Iron Man movie, where you can move and slide things around, and it's all holographic maybe eventually, but that never really has panned out yet. So until it gets to that point, I'm not really. I have one, but first got it, it was fun, and then you realize, you come home from work, you're tired, you don't want to jump around and yell at your TV.
It's amazing technology. I mean, the stuff that you've seen people hack it to do is awesome. It'd be great, to see them do something awesome with it instead of just navigate your dashboard with the move of your hand. I'd rather just push the arrow button and save that for something cool. Caleb, are you interested in any new consoles?
I was always a huge PlayStation fan, and then Xbox 360 kind of won me over. And but then now that I've been playing Xbox 360, I'm a huge Halo fan, like I said before. So I was really kind of bummed about Microsoft doing what they were doing, and I'm happy that they backtracked on a lot of their policies that they were making. I'm still kind of concerned about the Kinect, always being on and all that stuff. But I don't know. I'm probably gonna wait. I waited like 5 years to buy the 360. I'm probably gonna wait another 5 years to buy the next generation console.
To be honest, I still don't have a PS3 or a 360. I have a Wii. I recently bought a TurboGrafx 16 and a Sega Master System. Those are my new consoles. I have a ton of consoles, but no next gens. I actually have a lot of PS3 and Xbox 360 games, but no consoles yet.
I wanted to hear what Mike's response would be. Because it can't be Ratchet and Clank, unless, whichever one's that on.
I'm indifferent, but has anybody seen Man of Steel?
Good answer, good answer. So, yeah.
I'm curious who owns the virtual point, or the.
That was actually donated by a friend. He's actually in the we special thanked him in the credits, his name is Britton Rupp, and he also had the power pad that Zach is doing Snow Angels in.
What is your least favorite game?
Oh my gosh.
Ratchet and Clank.
You know, it's funny. Sometimes, like I'm kind of strange, and I'm a glutton for punishment. And even if a game isn't that fun, like I'll still find some sort of novelty or humor with it. Even like the Charlie's Angels GameCube game. I mean, that's just pretty funny. If you've ever played it, you should try to pick it up. Gosh, I don't know. So you said hated or just least favorite? Huh. I mean, if I don't like it, I don't have it. So I don't know. I'll probably have to go with Sonic 2006. I'm a huge Sonic fan, and if anyone's ever played that buggy, my parents are a piece of crap, then you'll probably know that it's virtually unplayable, and you always feel that you're just balancing a marble on a speeding semi, like from the Matrix scene where they're just like fighting on the back of that, and it's just like, but you're controlling a marble, and even if you try to play by the game's rules and its physics, you'll fall right through that semi, and you'll die a lot, and then it'll load a lot.
So I'm kind of with Matt, where I, even all the bad games, like I usually like to play for that, like so bad it's good kind of feeling. You watch those bad movies like The Room and Troll 2 because you know it's a bad movie, and you get entertainment out of that because you have those expectations. Me and my wife bought the old He-Man series, and it's so campy and cheesy and just corny, and some might say bad. We got into like, oh, nostalgia, and we watched the first episode, we were like, oh, what the heck, this is so... And then we're like, oh, we gotta make the best of the situation, let's enjoy it for the campiness and the cheesiness and how bad it is, and we loved it from that point on. So I do a lot of that, where you watch something so bad it's good, but even some of the ABGN games, I play them because I know what I'm getting myself into. One game that my roommates played in college that I kind of touched and let them do, and I watched, it was so buggy and so poorly made, was Tomb Raider Angel of Darkness. It's similar to Sonic, where you would just be running through this museum level and you just fall through an invisible floor, or floor that was supposed to be there, and then you'd be stuck in this pit of lava or invisible walls, and you would just be in this limbo. And like, okay, turn the game off, break the disc, and throw it out the window.
My least favorite game, the only thing I can think of right now is actually a game I played recently. This might not be a very popular answer, but I was actually really disappointed with Gears of War. Because I'd always heard how good it was, and I started playing it, and now, in its defense, I just played BioShock Infinite before, and that game was so great that it's hard to play anything else after it. But I played Gears of War finally to see what all the fuss was about, and I don't know, I got bored playing it. I was like, this is pretty much just, you go here, shoot this, go there, shoot that, you know, which is fun sometimes, but I kind of like a little bit more engaging stuff.
Have you guys played The Last of Us? Yeah.
Oh,
I think Greg just got that, right?
No, I want to.
Oh.
No, I was joking.
Watched some LPs of like the first level, so I've been spoiled a little bit, but I hear it's really good. So I'm going to get a PS3 soon so I can play Ni no Kuni, Last of Us, and BioShock Infinite.
Right now I'm playing the new Tomb Raider game, so after I get done with that, I'll probably play.
No, I was gonna say I wish I had a PS3 to play that. but I'm not spending $400 just to play a game again.
You and the Abe Lincoln shirt with the shades on, I just now noticed that.
What is your favorite TV show?
My favorite TV show? I watch a whole lot of TV.
We're gonna be here for hours.
Yeah, I know. We've already exceeded the time, so we weren't expecting that. But thank you. Let's see.
Friends is so easy.
I don't know. There were so many shows that I liked that are either gone now or they just went silly, like Lost. Like I was so into that for a while, and then it seemed like right around season 4, which you also agree, which we both have, and then like our collection just stops after like all this time traveling and stuff and weird things with whatever. Gosh, I don't know. Favorite TV show?
I got one. Buffy the Vampire Slayer, by far. Because I watched it. That's the only show that I've watched several times, like 3 or 4 times. So,
For drama, I'm going to go with The Wire.
Yeah,
It's a good HBO show. And I've just caught up with Game of Thrones, and that's got me hooked. For comedy, I'm going to go with Flight of the Conchords.
I'm gonna go with Spaced for comedy.
Oh yeah, Space. Yeah. Since we're talking about old games, or old TV shows, yeah, definitely Spaced with Simon Pegg. I just remember that there is a current show that I do keep up with, and that is The Walking Dead. So.
I like Squidbillies.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, great. Is that even a show?
Yes, it is.
Okay. They do Real Housewives of everywhere.
I feel uncomfortable because I actually watched them, I'm sorry. And I like the Xbox 360. See, that's why I don't talk about games, but I can talk about shows. Doctor Who.
We like Xbox 360, it's the one.
I have no idea what you're
Yeah,
talking about.
see, that's what it's confusing, because now they're talking about Xbox One, and then, you think about the one that came out in 2001 as Xbox One, and anyways, keep talking, Mike.
Oh, no, it's cool. I finally have something to say. Doctor Who, The Simpsons, if we're going retro, Roseanne, Smallville. Who doesn't like Roseanne? Come on. SNL. I watch a lot of TV.
See on your Facebook, you're a full
American Horror, right? American Horror Story Asylum, which is a hit or miss with some people, but Buffy, Dexter, Walking Dead. I watch a lot of TV. And Real Housewives. Which, did you see the movie? I'm the complete opposite.
So I guess, thank you all. If you have anything else you want to say to us, we're not going to keep you here any longer. But feel free to see us at our booth, or just talk to us up here. We've got the DVDs up here. We're selling for just $10. There's lots of extra features on there, some stuff that we may not have answered enough, or just has a lot of like an epic documentary on there. It's about 40 minutes, shows how we made it from beginning to end. And then there's alternate audio commentary, some bloopers, gag reels. So thank you very much.